Hi, everybody. I'm Roy Firestone. I've known my friend Gary Kleiman most of my life. We grew up together, we played ball together, we went to school together. Gary was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes when he was 8, but you would have never known he had a debilitating disease. He was an outstanding tennis player in high school, very popular guy, a thoughtful guy, had a fantastic talent for sculpture. He had many award winning pieces, was acclaimed throughout this country. But Gary had more health problems later in life. He had a kidney that was failing, so his mom donated her kidney to save her son's life. But then Gary needed another kidney, and his brother Glenn donated his kidney for his brother. It's really been a remarkable story of family love. Now, for years, Gary gave back to the juvenile diabetes community. He helped promote and produce numerous fundraisers. He helped raise millions of dollars for juvenile diabetes. But meanwhile, Gary had more physical ailments. He was going blind, then he went blind from type 1 diabetes. And then he recently suffered a stroke. He had heart surgery. Now he needs back surgery. But once again, Gary, who is on dialysis 3 days a week, needs yet another kidney. Now, I'm going to talk to Gary today. He's still recovering from effects of the stroke, so you'll have to bear with him a little bit. But we'll talk about his views of life, his thoughts on his health, and his hopes to have someone match him with a brand new kidney. Here's Gary. Well, welcome, old friend. By the way, you're a mess. You really are a mess. I mean, you're unbelievable. First of all, I know every day is a bit of a struggle, but you never hear any complaints from you. What's it like day to day?
It depends. It depends. Some days are better than others, just like everyone else. Um, when you're dealing with certain things like exams and procedures, those are focused on procedures, but getting back to what I need to be doing. I can't, um, look like in a bad position. I'm not. I'm a good position.
Boy, you have an amazing attitude. You always have, but I want to harken back to a book that you wrote. In fact, you did my show when the book first came out. The
I
book was
know.
called No Time to Lose. This book is well over 40 years ago. I want you to
No,
reflect on time, Gary, how precious time is, because you wrote No Time to Lose as the title of the book. Let's talk about reflect on it for just a
more
few.
time than I thought.
Are you grateful for that time? Do you
Of
feel
course, of
are you
course.
feel envious of people who have better health and potentially longer lives? Or how
There,
do you
there,
look at that?
yeah. There. My my feeling is they're great. Anybody, it's the quality of the lives that people live and the quality of time that I live, and that's the basis. How you can give back, how you can help leave the world a better place. Even it's you're in the own sphere has to be, understand and how we're going to use that. Um, so, of course, so there are times there I would love to hit the ball again.
There was one passage, the very last line in your book, No Time to Lose. They asked you, what's your what you're proud of? Who are you? What are you proudest of as a human being? And your quote was, trying. I never stop trying. I
Yeah,
want
I
you
mean,
to reflect on that for a few
that's
moments.
it. Why would you give up if you still have a good pulse? I mean, you have something to offer. Like there are times when I had my initial blindness became a really tough task because where do I go from there? I was on a tennis team. I was an art major and Silver Knight nominee and everything else. And all of a sudden, my 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 old ticket, my golden ticket was used up, and I didn't know where I was going to go. And
Mm.
fortunately, some of the procedures had good results, and I was able to begin sculpting, and I could do other things. Um, and I began working with kids at the, diabetes center, and I can, then became more and more than that when I was executive director. It's really been amazing progress to my team. My team has been amazing. The all the specialties, and I've not stopped, so I keep going. So
Okay, so we're going to take some clips from people that mean a lot to you. In a few moments, we'll talk about your family, who means the most to you, and your friends. But one of your closest friends is Edward James Olmos, the actor, who, of course, was
absolutely.
in Miami Vice, Stand and Deliver, played in Selena, Battlestar Galactica. So many incredible performances. A wonderful guy, an activist. He met you at the Barry Gibb tennis tournament many years
Right.
ago. That's the first place he met you. But I wanted him to talk, and we have a sound clip of him about your friendship and how it affects his, how diabetes and kidney failure and all of it has affected his life.
Right.
And I want you to hear it. We'll reflect on it. Here's Edward
Sure.
James Olmos.
Every male in my family has died of diabetes, so I have a very big concern about this disease. I've been trying to help for years, and Gary and I have worked together. Now it's our turn to help Gary. Time is of the essence. If we don't find a matching kidney donor, he will be forced to go on dialysis. And someone with long-standing diabetes, this can take a major toll on his body. I tried to help him by donating one of mine, but they told me, Ed, I'm sorry, you're a little too old. So I really can't do that now for him. But please take a minute to learn more and see how you can help save his life.
It's pretty heavy, but I want to ask you about, of course, he's always been there for you, Eddie Olmos, but how vulnerable you feel needing somebody to step up. Do you feel exposed and saying, I'm at the mercy of this planet and someone's ability to step up and give me this kidney?
Yeah, it has two different sides to it, Um, coming out of the COVID and doing whatever position you claim, but the reality is that people are not stepping up quickly, and we're trying to find the right match.
By the way, just so people know, what is the match you're looking for?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I can have an O or an A.
An O,
Um,
okay.
yeah, but that doesn't mean that a willing donor can contribute to another person, and that other family member that may not match that person's kidney may be mine. So they're have pairs that we can offset if it's good enough.
Your brother Glenn, who I've known all my life too, was an
Yeah,
unbelievable guy. He was a journalist. He was a
right.
broadcaster. He's one of my favorite people in the world. A few days before 9/11, he donated the second kidney you needed. And I want him to talk now about what it's like to be a donor. There's a lot of people who have misconceptions of being a donor. So let's
Right.
listen to Glenn and we'll talk about it.
Sure.
So what is it like to be a donor? What's the process? What does it feel like? The process is actually pretty easy. First of all, you don't pay anything. It's all paid for. So you don't have to worry about the financial part. And even the physical part is relatively simple. They don't really open you up. They do little slits on your stomach. It's called laparoscopic. And the recovery because of that is very simple. It's basically about 2 weeks. You're in the hospital only for a couple of days, and then you're at home, and eventually you start, regaining all your strength and moving around just fine. And I can honestly say, a little over 20 years later, this has had no impact on my life. I work out at a gym twice a week. I play tennis on a regular basis. I take long walks with my wife and my dog. So it's really basically invisible to me, and hopefully would be to you as well. So I guess just to wrap up, please consider being a donor on behalf of my brother and entire family. We thank you for thinking about it and for giving it serious consideration. Thank you.
He mentioned something that even for getting a donor from a deceased person, there's a waiting list of 100,000 people, maybe more in this country. So it's long odds. There are long odds here for you.
Well, what I'm hoping for, and I'm not considering cadaveric donors for me right now. I'm looking for a healthy person that wants to contribute into life and help others. We're looking for other people to donate all the time. Obviously now I need it, but I would like to see other people wanting to help people as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me, a strange irony. You've always been about helping others. I mean, you've raised millions of dollars. We've seen you hands-on with all of the foundation's work. You've testified in front of Congress. Right. And now you're asking somebody to give back to you, more or less, right?
Yeah, that is a strange feeling because, I don't know. I was the Ollie North of diabetes. I didn't want to ever ask for it, but I just trying to, okay, I need help. Can you help?
Yeah. Does it make you feel? I don't know if the right word is embarrassed, but do you feel vulnerable when you have to ask for someone's help?
Yeah, I did. It's not comfortable for me. I've always been in a position that I can do more for others than I can do for myself, and but it's also within me to make sure that I can be a positive role model for others. But right now, it's tough. It's tough.
I don't know how religious you are, and this is not done for religious reasons at all. We happen to be of the same faith. But do you question God after what you've been through in your life?
I mean, on so many levels, I question, but I really can't. I can't think about one person having this red carpet to anywhere. So I need to think about how I can better serve everything and help. That's it. And I can't think about, because I would question politics. I would look at what's happening in Ukraine. How do you define questioning it?
Well, it's just I've had people, Mark Richt, the football coach at University of Miami, who had Parkinson's at a young age. I said, do you curse God? Have you ever cursed God? He says, no, God, because God's not the problem. It's just, it's being here on earth and it's my health and this is what happens. And, for all the incredible things you've done in your life for other people, it's now time for you to sort of get paid, so to speak. I'm sorry to put it that way, but I feel like it's time for people to pay you back,
Obviously, I would love that. And I hope that people can respond. That would be awesome. And I fully intend to help others.
You already have. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that's the case. But
I want to talk briefly, maybe some quick thoughts on some of the so-called celebrities. I don't say so-called; they were great big figures in your life, and they were all very helpful. Let's start with Andy Garcia, a former classmate at Beach High, Miami Beach High School, where we went to school. Right. How's he been helpful to you?
Oh, he's been great. Actually, Glenn and Andy were in the same class. It was always helpful, always. And now Andy has, made his own posting of helping me try to get the kidney. And I have to tell you, his posts have garnered the most positive feedback, and people have tried to find out if they could be a donor. Some
Yeah.
people can't, but they tried.
This is the good kind of Instagram, good kind of Twitter, good kind of
Absolutely.
social media.
Absolutely.
How
Yep.
about Barry? How about Barry Gibb, who lived across the street from you? I
Yeah.
remember. There's Barry Gibb at the tennis tournament with the late great Arthur Ashe.
Yep.
And Barry Gibb has been a close friend of yours and been helpful in so many ways in this fight for you.
Yeah, and my dad was really close to Barry, and also the Linda Gibbs' father. And I think that was probably the thing that solidified the relationships. And when Barry wanted to got a tennis tournament going, he picked us, obviously the foundation.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and the people that came was just amazing.
I was there one of the years.
Yeah,
How about Sugar Ray Leonard? I wasn't aware that he was active and helping out too. He's a great guy. He's an old friend of mine.
He is fabulous. He is fabulous. He came and just, everybody got an autograph, and he was just I gotta reach out to him again. He's great.
Okay, Gary, it's gonna get maybe a little emotional here.
Yeah.
But
don't make me cry, Roy.
I don't do that for a living. Your boys, the love of your life, your boys.
Yeah.
What do your boys think? What do you want them to know about the old man?
I hope that I try. I think that is the basis for giving them a legacy. Some people I've been included in books that have been based on diabetes and how people survive, and the author, put in that your dad is a hero, and I don't know what that means, but the fact that they can look to that and see what they wish to see. But this last couple of months have been really hard, especially for them who had, some different and serious thoughts that were presented. And it made Daniel, my youngest, change careers and wanted to be helpful as a physician's assistant to help, deliver care specifically to the patients. And Ben also to go get a degree in helping others. So, I mean, and for his mother too, for their mother, they also looked at helping others. And that's the base. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Well, we have a picture of Marley, who is Glenn's daughter, and Allison, also Glenn's daughter, and the boys. And you are telling me that both of them have had health issues too.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, Allison developed type 1 diabetes. When she was 18, which it's not the age, it's the type of diabetes it is, and it routinely occurs mostly when they're a little bit younger. So we thought she was out of the woods, but at least she's doing great. The new technology is amazing, so hopefully we'll spare her from the unruly parts of diabetes.
Yeah.
We're
almost out of time, and
Sure.
I want to have you reflect on life, just
Sure.
about your life, your hopes, your dreams, your challenges.
Yep.
Take a few moments and just talk about that.
Well, everything starts with my parents, and how amazing they are, and just to watch them just go to the basic and make sure it's going to help, and how they rally, and how the whole community rallied. When you go back to the days when I was, trying to be public with a very private uh, condition, whatever we needed as a family, we sort of just rallied to our positions.
You fought for each other. You fought for each other as a family.
Absolutely. And my father was, the business head, and then my mother was the heart, and not in no easy task. She had to go through to people that, she's a private woman. And my father was a mush, but he was business oriented. And my brother was the journal. That was he did. He was 15 and I was 18. And we were, I left Syracuse because I needed to get treated. So all of a sudden, everything was focused on me, but I needed to do something more. So again, it's how you balance the parts that are, burdensome, and then how you focus on whatever it is that is your passion. And that's how it works.
Gary, you were one of the very first, people now say, I love you, man. I love you. I mean, you were one of the very first friends I had right out of college who always ended conversations with, I love you. Always.
Yeah.
I want you to reflect on that word, love.
Oh gosh. Sometimes you hear, people on the dais or at the microphone, saying, "Oh, I love you, I love you," but that's not love. I mean, it's I guess love, but
it's a verbal love.
Yeah. All right. Right. That's right. So I became very aware of that term, loving people and appreciating people and what they bring to us together, because I think it's a dynamic, force, and how wonderful. I remember when you were in Miami and got the job in LA, and you came over and Banyan Bay, and we talked about how the change was just that. It's just a change. It's not going to change you. And we talked about that. And the same thing, loving people just brings out the best in you. It's the best. And that's what I want.
And you have. Okay, this is the email address, or the website address, I should say, kidneydonorforgary.com. kidneydonorforgary.com. If anyone's watching this, Listening to this, or wants to share this is very important to share it. We need as many people to see this interview as we can. All I can do is, as your friend for 60 years, more,
Maybe more.
say a Godspeed. I know how hard you've fought and you continue to fight. And all I can say to you is you're a stellar human being. You always have been. You've given so much to this world, and maybe karma smiling upon you is what we're looking at. But more than karma, we need a kidney.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks.
Gary, thank you. Stay well. Try to stay well anyway.
Always.
I know it's a struggle. God bless you, man. And I love you too.
Love you. Take care. Talk to you soon.
That's our show. We'll see you next week.